In this video today, I'm going to show you how you can use Cyberlink PowerDirector19 to use Motion Tracker to blur out the faces of items or objects in your video. So in this example, I have this video where I'm going to want to mask the faces of the two people walking towards the camera. So I have clicked and dragged my clip down onto the timeline. I'm going to select it by clicking on it, come to Tools, and I am going to go to Motion Tracker. And so it comes up with our first tracker, and so we'll start by tracking the man here. So I'm just going to draw a box around his face, and I'm going to rename the tracker down here to man so that I can keep my trackers separate. Now, instead of pressing the track button, since it is pretty small, I'm going to do the one frame only until his face gets big enough to where it can reliably track it. So I'm going to go frame by frame until we get to a point where his face is big enough that I can have the motion tracker start. So I'm just clicking on this little icon here. Now you'll notice it's starting to drift over to the right, so I'm going to just shift it over and continue to click. And I'm going to shift it over again and then continue to click this. And it's shifting over to the right, so I'll shift it over. And I'm going to shift it over a little bit. And I'll shift it over a little bit. Now at this point, I'm maybe going to want to resize it a bit. And I'm going to resize it again here. And now I'm going to just press the motion tracker to let it continue. And I'm also going to want to stop the tracking as soon as he goes off frame, which is about right there. And so I'm going to click the mark out. And so now we can see how it does. So I'm just going to click the little play here, and we'll see how it tracks the head of this man. Now that was okay until maybe the very end here. So I'll just move this back a little bit. And I'll put that there. And then I'm going to resize this to make it a little bit bigger. And then we can track it from here. Okay, and then let's do the play and see how we like how it's tracking that man's head. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that tracker, and I'm going to come up here to FX. I want to blur. Mask type, I'm going to have a circle. And I want to scroll down here, and I want to adjust the effect size with the track object. And so you'll notice here it's now put a little blue box inside the white box. And so I'm just going to want to resize this blue so that it is the same size as the tracker. And now we'll play the play, and we'll see how we like that. And you can see this is how it's tracking the man's movement. All right, now looks pretty good. So now we're going to just want to repeat this process with the woman. So we're going to want to add a tracker. We'll rename this one to Lady. And we will start with the little box around her head like that. And then just like we did with the man, I'm just going to track it one frame at a time. Maybe move it over a little bit. I'm going to take a chance and click on track and see how we like that. All right, so you can see at that point is where it started to diverge. So we're going to move this back to this point, and I'm going to move this and press track from that point and stop it and move it and then press track and put it there and track. And just like with the man, I'm going to want to stop the tracking as soon as she gets off the screen. So about that point. So I'm going to do the mark out at this point. Now I can click and drag slowly along here, and any point that I don't really like, I can also do the previous frame this way. And you can click and drag the box where you want it to be for that particular frame. This is how you fine-tune your motion track. If you weren't satisfied, it may be time-consuming, but this is the way you can get the best track according to what you want. If it's not really tracking all that well, and in fact what we can do is we can move back here, maybe move that and track from that point. And so let's play and see how we like how it's tracking her. All right, there was a point here where I didn't really like it. And so I'm going to move that over. And just move back a frame and so let's look at it. And here, don't like where that is. Let's move it back a little bit. And we'll track from here. All right, and then it did okay until maybe about right here. We'll skip that forward and track again. All right, let's see how that looks. All right, let's try this one. We'll select the lady and go to FX. We want to blur it. We want a circle. And we want to adjust the size. And we want to resize, whoops. We want to resize the blue box to be the same size. And then let's see what that looks like. Okay, and that looks pretty good. So we'll click OK. And now let's play our clip. And so as you can see here, we've blurred out their faces. Now one thing, if you wanted to start from the beginning, say you didn't like it and you just wanted to wipe out everything you've done, click on the clip and come up to Tools and Motion Tracker. Click Yes. And so you can click on your two trackers here, right click, remove tracker, and then right click and remove tracker. Next, clip on the eye that's on the clip on your timeline and select the first blur. So you see your two applied effects. Just click the minus button here, and so that will get rid of all the effects that you've done. And if you want to start over and try it again, that's how you would remove the motion trackers and the blur effects from your clip. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.